me take this question across, in fact, to Piruz Khambata. Piruz Khambata, the question coming in is there any guarantee that working these extra hours is going to actually, yield to the kind of results that is desired? Because if you have listened carefully to the first viewer, he spoke about the lack of salaries. And at the end of the day, while everyone would like the employees to be more productive, from the point of view of the employer, who's to say that tomorrow this will not put an idea in some corporate's head or some manager's head somewhere, who may be in the organized or in the disorganized sector, as one of the other panelists was saying, to try and ensure, nahi, ye to Narayan Murthy ji ne bola, you all have to work 14 hours a day. Who's going to prevent the misuse tomorrow? That's I think, a valid concern.
Thanks for inviting me. And on the debate, I won't say yes, no, but I'll tell you one or two my own experiences. Nowadays, there is a startup culture, and I have been interviewing certain startups and their managers to understand that why are they succeeding while big companies are failing, especially in food. And two things I found common across all startups which are doing good. Number one, they are totally owned, controlled by entrepreneurs, and they are hired people also with the whole idea of entrepreneurship. Number one. And number two, that whole entrepreneurship is linked with a lot of hard work and a variable pay. Automatically, even without anybody telling them, they are ending up working 12 to 18 hours a day because they are very lean teams. Like, for example, this one company, they are probably selling, in my mind, something like 100 crores only on the e-com platform. My sales are not that much, but my team is much bigger in size. And they are selling. How they are selling? Because the boys are putting a lot more time, younger boys, hardworking boys, and they are getting returns. I think what I'm looking at this statement is like this, that if you start taking your work with an ownership approach, like we entrepreneurs do, and say, ye meri company hai, automatically everything else falls in place. And I think the whole interview talks about the India century. And I think we should understand one thing, that India is today, actually we have to grow. Today is the India's chance. The world is looking for India. And if we have to grow exponentially, we don't have to grow by the Hindu rate of growth. We have to grow very hard. Now, for that, companies will have to really quadruple their whatever expectations. And how that will happen by not only the policies of the government, that's what the interview says, but a lot of hard work for owners. And then the employees also will have to start working in such a manner that they see themselves as owners of the company, take accountability, responsibility, right, and get work. And now coming to the enrollments, I am a firm believer that industry practice should now be lesser fixed, more variable. Let us all industry leaders come together and work on packages where we tell the government that don't give any minimum wages or something. We will want to link our work with the performance of the employee. And I believe time has come where industries should have what I call an SOP. Let associations come forward and have an SOP where we link pay with performance and have more of what I call a variable pay. That way what happens, person who wants to work harder will get higher paid. Person who doesn't want to get work will get lower paid.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know whether employees will be very happy with that, or whether they will.
They should be happy because I am asking. They work harder. They will
again outraged with that suggestion. I really don't know the answer to that. But let me take this across to Richa Singh. Richa Singh, in a sense, what Mr. Khambata is saying is Carpe Diem, seize the day. It's India's century. It's a moment where all citizens need to work hard, and perhaps that's the sentiment that Mr. Narayan Murthy is expressing.
Well, I definitely agree with what he's saying about India's century and everything, but there are a few factors and a new upcoming problems that we are just being negligent of. Firstly, WHO has warned that mental health will be the next upcoming, pandemic, global pandemic. And just because we do not talk about it in India, it doesn't mean that we are all immune from it. And also, if you look at the statistics, founders, entrepreneurs, even corporate employees, all of them are at higher risk of mental health issues like depression, anxiety, and a lot of them are already suffering silently. So if you're going to put up benchmarks in terms of hours, and it is definitely going to lead to peer pressure despite you giving us an option. And I do not see a point that if I'm being paid a fixed salary, why should I put in extra hours when it is not directly proportional to my growth? So if it is there a guarantee that
so what if there's a well-defined overtime system?
There is not, sadly, over here. In fact, the minimum wages thing which was suggested, that there shouldn't be any minimum wages, I think then only keeping variable I mean, if you're going to keep a minimum wages, fixed salary, and then also going to incentivize your employees for the extra work that they are putting in, or having a well-defined overtime structure, then what happens is people who actually want to work extra, they will be paid extra and they will be happy. But the people who do not want to work extra, there are some people who want to basically prioritize their family, and they are not in the positions to basically pull in, say, such kind of crazy hours. So they will also have a choice. So it will be not a, say, fight for survival. It will be more about choice in that situation.
Okay.
But then also it is very...
So what are the difficulties in implementing